This video is brought to you by The Container Store.
Yo, welcome to Hard Pass. I am your host, Jacques Slade. It's the show that just wants things to go back to normal so we can make fun of videos like this.
Bar, how much outfit cost?
Shoes $1,600, but free from cookies and kicks. Pants $150. Shirt probably $12.
Okay.
Do you guys remember that story of a young Gary Payton talking trash to Michael Jordan about all the Ferraris and Testarossas he bought, and MJ's reply was, "No problem, I got them for free"? Yeah, it's not about how much you paid, it's if you paid it all. I would know. All right. Let's start with some hot takes. The Warren Lotas saga continues with Nike ordering Lotas to stop production of his replacement sneakers that were offered as an alternative to his now canceled adjacent SB Dunks. Nike is saying that this still looks too much like their Dunks, which is like saying a day-old meatball from Subway is the same as Japanese Wagyu beef from Miyazaki Prefecture. Again, I would know, but whatever. After initially appearing to back out, Lotas is instead doubling down and counter-suing Nike. Not the strategy that I would take personally, but I have to admire his conviction as long as he doesn't get a conviction. I guess if I were Lotas, I'd probably just lay low for a while, but that's just me giving free advice, which he could probably use right now because the lawyers he's gonna need to fight Nike, they ain't working for free. But in all seriousness, what does this mean for other shoe customizers and designers who crib from Nike heavily? If the court favors Nike, does this mean we no longer get artists like Mosh, and will creators like Shoe Surgeon have to rethink their strategy moving forward? Or is this just a case of one person biting off more than they can chew? Sound off in the comments below because I would really love to get what you guys think about this. Looks like the celebration of the Los Angeles Lakers' 17th championship, by the way, in franchise history will be short-lived because the NBA and the Players Association have agreed upon a return date for the league, and it's on December 22nd, a little over 6 weeks from now. Guess they want my Lakers to win their 18th championship on time. That's cool. I look forward to LeBron, AD, and hopefully Rondo leading the Lakers past the Boston Celtics for most championships in all time. In fact, if LeBron wants to take some time off to rest so he can be ready for the playoffs, I'm okay with it. He can show up for ring night, pick up his hardware, and bounce until February, and I wouldn't even be mad. At least our load management process actually leads somewhere. The Detroit Pistons are reportedly very interested in Lamelo Ball and are considering a move up in the draft in an effort to get the Chino Hills native. One scenario would involve a trade with the Golden State Warriors, who have the second pick. The Pistons would send Blake Griffin and the 7th pick to the Warriors in exchange for Andrew Wiggins and the number 2 pick. Now, that rumor both scares me and makes me smile at the same time. On the one hand, a possibly healthy Blake running with rejuvenated Steph, Clay, and Draymond is scary as for us Laker fans. But on the other hand, the comedy potential of LeVar in Detroit, who already has Derrick Rose, is seemingly too good to pass up. Just do it, Motown. Belated happy birthday to Odell Beckham Jr., sneaker icon and every old talking head's favorite wide receiver to pick on for not playing the right way ever since Randy Moss retired. We've talked a lot here on Hard Pass about the lack of a signature NFL guy, and while OBJ has special editions of the Air Max 720 and his custom cleat game is second to none, Nike is missing out on giving him a proper signature trainer a la Deion Sanders and Calvin Johnson. And because of that, we here at Hard Pass would like to, despite his season ending early due to injury, award OBJ our honorary "Why the hell does he or she not have a signature shoe yet" title belt. It's not an actual belt we give to OBJ, and it's a bit we haven't properly workshopped yet, but it was his birthday, so we had to rush it a little bit, like the prototype TNT AEW belt. Haha, wrestling reference. Anyways, enjoy the fictional belt from an internet show, OBJ. Someday we'll be big enough to actually have a real belt, I swear it.
Hey guys, this video is brought to you by The Container Store. They're the people that make these drop front shoe boxes that you see right behind me. As you can see, you can get them in clear, you can get them in red, or you can get them in blue. Right now, The Container Store is having a sale. They are 10% off for the drop front shoe boxes and for the cases of 6. I like it a lot because you can stack the boxes and it's a lot neater than having the actual shoe boxes, which often have a little bit of lean to them. They are 10% off right now through November 8th. If you don't want to wait for shipping, they have contactless curbside pickup. Let's get back to the video.
So I'm not gonna mince words. This week was a tough one for myself and my co-writer to produce. With so many other things going on in our country right now, we didn't really have a lot of avenues to go with in terms of content because who's going to talk or care about sneakers at a moment like this in our history? And then Kevin Durant swooped in to save the day and declared that the Air Jordan 1 lows are the best Jordans ever made. Not the Air Jordan 1 high, which is literally the shoe that kicked off sneaker culture as we know it. Not the Air Jordan 1 mid because... I'm just kidding, not the Air Jordan 1 mid. KD chose the Air Jordan 1 low. Granted, he said this earlier this year, like in pre-pandemic times, but some outlets latched onto the quote recently, and Champ Sports even used it to sell some Jordan 1 lows. It's a model he's been pictured wearing quite a bit, especially the Cactus Jack low and the Eric Costin Nike SB Jordan 1 low. So I just want to say, thank you for the inspiration for this content, KD. I'm so glad that a person of his standing and a Nike signature athlete was brave enough to say something that we have been screaming to the high heavens about. In fact, it was a topic on the first season of the show.
These 2019 lows are embracing their new identity, sans the Nike Air, and dropping in some really good colorways.
However, we haven't really seen an uptick in interest for the shoes. There are some colorways that have caught on, like fragment adjacent royal toes or the reverse breads and of course Dior lows, but for the most part, you haven't seen kids use their parents' credit cards to buy up all the stock at Shoe Palace and attach StockX tags to them. By the way, shout out to the dude who I saw at Target wearing a very worn out pair of zebra Yeezys with the StockX tag still attached yesterday. Like, why? Who are we trying to impress with those, fella? Is the desire for clout so bad in these pandemic times? Anyway, KD's co-sign of the Jordan 1 low is awesome, and who knows, it could lead to a KD Jordan brand collaboration down the line if he really is that passionate about the shoe. But how come his word doesn't carry the same weight of, say, Travis Scott or a random Kardashian Jenner West? DJ Khaled's meetings where he shows off his latest Jordan care package probably help sell more units than KD or LeBron singing its praises. Is it because KD isn't known as a sneakerhead on the level of PJ Tucker or DeMar DeRozan? By the way, still waiting on that sneaker battle, you two. Get it together. Does Durant's status as a signature athlete put him in a different class so he can't really speak on other people's signature shoes? Could it be the critique that his signature shoes haven't lived up to the expectations despite having a 13-year run that is only matched by a few? Or is this more bizarre KD hate because he left OKC for Golden State? Seriously, some of y'all really need to get over yourselves with that negativity. I don't like that energy. The man is in Brooklyn throwing footballs to his friends in penthouses. He doesn't care if you call him a snake. I guess I'm just curious as to where the power lies when it comes to who really influences who. I don't doubt for a second that Travis has had a role in popularizing the dunks again the past few years. But do you think if LeBron started wearing dunks exclusively off the court and developed a special King James branded pair he could wear in a game, it could achieve the same result? Look, I already know some of you in the comments are already furiously typing about how I'm wrong and that the kids only care about looking cool and just copy whoever is famous at the moment's style. And I'm not really in the mood to agree or disagree right now, but when did athletes stop being the sneaker trendsetters and celebrities of varying degrees of talent exclusively became arbiters of cool? How did KD lose his way, and what can he or guys like LeBron or James Harden do to capture the hold of that zeitgeist again? Drop by in the comments below and let us know what you think about KD and his role in the sneaker world. And now, a prepared statement from my co-writer who heard that Kanye West not only voted for himself in the presidential election, but he's going to focus on 2024, whatever the hell that means.
The microphone, wait a second. Hey Siri, can you delete all my Kanye West songs? Hey Siri, hey, why isn't she responding to me? There you go. Hey Siri, can you delete all my Kanye West songs?
Sorry, I can't remove music from your library.
You know what? Hey Siri, I was probably being to me, sorry. No, don't do that. Oh, you know what? That's fine. I always like Alexa more anyway. Okay, I've calmed down now. Sorry about that, guys. Just a little tense. Let's go back to Jacques. Yo, now it's time for the heat check, and boy, after let's say a sedated last few weeks, we are ramping up for the holidays now. Let's start with the Nike Air Max 3 in Radiant Red. These are on the 9th for $140. Known more famously as the Nike Air Max 90 these days, I wonder if calling it Radiant Red means the hue of red will be slightly different from the infrared that we've all come to love. Next up, we have the Nike Dunk Low Veneer. These drop on the 10th for $100. A Japan exclusive from 2001, this elusive dunk returns to much fanfare and will no doubt be on the feet of those hipsters from the intro. I mean, seriously, who brags about the resale value of a shoe?
Then we have the Microsoft Xbox Series X. This is on the 10th for $499. The next generation of the video game begins this week with the launch of the Series X and Series S consoles, which also drops on the same day for $299. This is the moment where we shamelessly plug my review of both systems last week. Keep in mind that pre-orders are already sold out, and most consoles that will be available on the 10th will be sold online, because the last thing we need during a global pandemic are people lining up to buy Xboxes for themselves. Then we have the Nike Adapt VB 2.0. This is in white cement. These are on the 10th for $350. Call it white cement, call it cookies and cream or Oreos. This is the cleanest colorway of the Adapt we've seen so far, and I would love to get a pair if I wasn't so deathly afraid of getting these dirty. Then we have the Adidas Yeezy Boost 350 V2 Fade. This is on the 11th for $220, originally known as the Yucker. Let's continue our new tradition of just using the dictionary to talk about new Yeezy releases. Fade, according to Merriam-Webster, means to lose freshness, strength, or vitality. No, not Kanye. Then we have the Nike Air Presto. This is the Navy USA colorway on the 11th for $130. This complement to the USA Presto colorway that dropped earlier this year actually never came out in 2000, but has been seen in sample form. Now we're getting a proper release, and I just need somebody to lend me a Vince Carter USA jersey so I can pretend like I'm dunking over a 7-foot French dude. Then we have the Air Jordan 5 What The. This is on the 12th for $220. Nike's What The gimmick makes its way to the iconic Air Jordan 5, but unlike the Air Jordan 4 iteration, Nike decided to go all out by sticking with non-OG colorways like the Tokyo 23, Bel Air, and Raging Bull as their palette. I'll give you a little more on that later. Then we have the Sony PlayStation 5 on November 12th for $499. Coming in 2 days after the new Xbox, the PS5 will try to win this console generation with exclusive titles, a fancy new controller, and Travis Scott. That doesn't sound like a bad strategy, really. This will also be available in an all-digital version for like $100 less. Like the Xbox, these will only be sold online, although some retailers will allow for in-store pickup. Then we have the BBC Ice Cream Reebok Question Low Running Dog. These are on the 12th for $130 each. These very colorful renditions of the question are like something out of the early 2000s, which would fit BBC Ice Cream quite nicely. Available as regional exclusive, the purple toe is the worldwide colorway, the red toe is USA and Europe only, while Asian territories get the green toe. Then we have the iPhone 12 Pro Max. This is on November 13th for $1399 for 512 gigabytes. Wait, $1,400 and it has the same storage space as the Xbox Series S? Man, Apple must think we're crazy. And yeah, they're probably right, but I don't think I'm upgrading this year. Or maybe I am. Of course, I say that every year, and then I see them in person and I get desperate and ask if they accept payments and sneakers, so I'm not the best person to judge here. The minis are cute and all, but I think I would go for the Pro Max this go round. Then we have the Sakai Nike Vapor Waffle on the 13th for $180, releasing in colorways black and white, and another one that's described as Royal Fuchsia. The Vapor Waffles are what happens when you just have to keep going after winning over the sneaker world a year prior. Can lightning strike twice for Sakai? We'll have to wait and see, but one thing's for sure, you'll definitely see these on Melrose and Fairfax with people with masks on. Then we have the Nike Kyrie 7 Sisterhood. This is on the 14th for $130. The Kyrie 7 launch continues with this blue and gold colorway that features a graphic of female hoopers on the upper. It's part of a sprawling sisterhood collection that includes the Air Jordan 1 Mid and the Nike LeBron 18. Then we have the Air Jordan 1 High Code JP Midnight Navy. These drop on the 14th for $170. The Japan exclusives keep coming in with this white and navy pair that gets broken up by a silver Schruth. With so many other kicks dropping this week, will this be lost in the shuffle and become an underrated hit? Or not? Let me know. And then my pick of the week is the Nike Kyrie 7 Preheat collection. This is on the 11th. They're $130 each. There's actually 5 Kyrie Preheat colorways dropping on this date, but the Creator colorway is dropping in Asian markets first. The other 4 will be available in the US mystery box style, and you won't know which pair you'll get until you unbox it. We talked about this on last week's show, and I'm going to be curious to see if sneakerheads actually take to the concept or if there's going to be some wild complaints about it. And now for a heat check on the What The Nike and now Jordan brand sneakers. Like I mentioned earlier, the Air Jordan 4 What The was not what I was hoping for when it was first rumored there was going to be such a release. In my headcanon, the Air Jordan 4 What The should have been some combination of Thunder and Lightnings, the Wahlburgers, the Toro Bravos, the Cactus Jack, the Green Glows, the Metallics, the Dornbeckers, the Lasers, and more. But what we got was some slight mismatching colors on the 4s that was less of a What The and more of a what the? So props to Jordan brand for stepping out and going back to their roots for this one. Granted, I was disappointed because the early leaks made it appear like the real Tokyo 23 was getting an actual retro, but this serves as a not so bad consolation prize, honestly. Some of the choices they went with for the What The 5s were a little head scratching, such as the Bel Air 5s and the Green Bean, but that is the point. A what the is supposed to confound you and make you question your sanity as you check out to buy a pair. The best what the sneakers are the ones that are designed like a great TV show that's 7 seasons in. There's enough there for people to get engaged, but it's also filled with references and inside jokes that only the most diehard fans will appreciate. So I'm giving the upcoming Air Jordan 5 what the 8 Will Smith and DJ Jazzy Jeff's secret handshakes out of 3 Wahlburgers. Don't question the math, people. I'm the sneaker game Steve Kornacki out there. And now for this week's Hard Pass, where we take a look at something in the culture that just needs to go, like saying your vote doesn't count. Okay, that was last week's Hard Pass, but seriously, it counts. Look at the results of this election. Now, granted, as of this recording, it's not official yet who won the presidential race, but there are so many firsts that took place because you went out and voted. Arizona and New Jersey became the 12th and 13th state to legalize recreational use of marijuana. Sarah McBride of Delaware became the nation's first openly trans state senator. Cori Bush is the first black woman to be elected to Congress from Missouri. Florida approved a raise to the minimum wage to $15. Colorado became the first state to create a paid family and medical leave program. Maureen Turner is now Oklahoma's first Muslim legislator and the first black person to represent the state's 88th district. Jennifer Rajkumar and Zohran Mamdani will be the first South Asians to represent the lower house of New York State Legislature. New Mexico became the first state to send all women of color to Congress. Mississippi voted to replace their state flag that included the Confederate banner and replaced it with the new magnolia. Marilyn Strickland, a former mayor of Tacoma, is half black and half Korean, which would make her the first Korean American to serve in Congress and the first African American to represent Washington state on the federal level. Not everything I voted for passed, and not every candidate that I voted for won. But what was important in this cycle is that I voted, and in some small way, I hope this subtle nagging over the past few months that basically became a full-blown hard pass segment last week was enough of a push for someone out there to register and participate in the process. Does that mean the work is done? No. I'm not asking you to quit your job and become full-time activist or your cause of choice. We all still need paychecks to survive, of course, but what I do hope is that this past year has inspired generation of kids and some olds to at least be more aware of what's going on in their community and to be more active when the situation calls for it. And I swear, next week I will stop nagging you all about the political process. Okay, maybe we'll talk about the special elections in Georgia if they do go to runoffs in January, but that should be it for a while, at least until 2022 when the midterms come into play. All right, that's gonna do it for the show. Thank you guys for watching Hard Pass. I'm Jacques Slade. I'll see you next week, but not before I show you the power of technology where AI cameras that are supposed to follow soccer balls were following one of the referees instead. I wonder why. All right, I'll see you guys next week. Peace. Thank you, Stacey Abrams.